Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and I'm here bringing you the last in the series of our holiday cards from our October Christmas Club kit. So this is a kit that you can order. This is a class that I taught in person, so if you're in our area, you should definitely look into this next year because we've actually finished for the year. We started in July and we made 12 cards a month, and we finished just before Thanksgiving. And then everybody comes home and they've got all these fabulous Christmas cards that are just outstanding. I think it's 60 that they end up with before Thanksgiving. They're ready to write their cards and be done. But our Christmas Club, this kit, the October kit, it contains 4 each of 3 different designs. These are the different designs in the October kit. If you like these videos, you should definitely check out the other holiday kits. Every kit comes with all the parts that you need, including your bows are tied, everything is cut out for you, your ribbon is tied or cut if it needs to be, it's embossed if it needs to be, and it's cut out. So everything comes as you see it except the stamped images. You would need to either use your own stamps, or in the actual video from each class, there is so we're doing this card today. I'll pull these out of the way. So the stamped image is this image here. You could put your own image in there, or you could order it. There will be a list in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, you probably want to go to the YouTube channel so you can see all the things that I used, and it will list everything there if you wanted to order the stamp set. But you could put your own sentiment in there. All it is a straight line sentiment. The sentiment that I'm using today is from Heartfelt Wishes, and I really love this stamp set. First of all, I think it's super elegant. It would be beautiful stamped with like a gold emboss. So gorgeous. But it also has much gratitude, which is beautiful, and you could use it all year long. And sending love would be fun for Valentine's Day or really anytime. So this stamp set is going to carry forward in our hearts. I don't know if it'll carry forward in the catalog, but it will carry forward for you if you own it into the next year. And it's in this mini catalog here. It's this stamp set. Let me flip it open here. I marked it. It's a stamp set right here in your holiday catalog, and it's really, really actually very inexpensive. It's $21 for the kit or for the set, and I think you would really use it quite a bit. So this is the stamp set, and then we are also using some designer series paper and some dies from this same catalog. I'll show you what we're using. I marked it, but I just pushed it inside. See how that works? It's right here. We are using these dies here to make our pine cones, and we are using this paper right here that is in the painted Christmas paper. I love this paper. We actually used it a couple of times this class series. I was gonna guess for you, but I really can't. But we used it with these, and it was great. Anyway, but today we're using these pine cones. So let me show you all the wonderful things that I do for you on a daily basis that you don't even know about. First of all, I cut all of my pine cones out in advance so you can see all my little dudes here. And when I cut you get all these different parts. So it comes with all that you see here in dies. You can see that it needs to have some little pokey parts poked out, and you can just use a piercer or your edge of your scissors or whatever you want on that. Or since I love you so much, I actually cut it out with a sheet of adhesive sheets on the back. And a lot of times when you peel off the adhesive sheet, it takes all that little punch poop, it takes it out there for you. And now this is a sticker. So it makes it really easy for you to assemble at home when all you have to do is stick that on there like that. And you're going to give it a good firm press. Oop. And we're going to do that with each of them. So see how it's got these little parts? We're just going to see if we can just get this started. Sometimes if you go slowly, it pulls out all your little pieces, and then you don't have to spend a lot of time poking it out. Look, it left 2. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so that's the 2 there, and I'm going to stick this on here. And the beauty of this is it's artsy, so it doesn't have to stick, perfectly. It makes it look like a painted or layered pine cone, which I love. All right, and here's the last one. And again, in your kit, while I'm talking to you, I will tell you, in your kit, the pine cones are actually the dark colored pine cone. So this is crumb cake and this is early espresso, and that will all be listed down below, but I just wanted to tell you, in your early espresso, this dark color, brown, it will come on the adhesive sheet so that you can just put it together right like that. Now, okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way because I'm going to do something very messy. I love mess. I love mess. So this is Champagne Mist Shimmer Paint, and I have had it. The fact that it has my initials on it tells me how long I've had it, because I used to work with another demonstrator quite a bit. We do a lot of joint classes, and so we had to mark our items, and that was like the first year I was in Stampin' Up. So this is like 11 years old, and I still have not finished it yet. So it lasts for a long time. We do not sell it anymore, but it is a brand that we had hired. I think it's Sneeko. And so you can get it, at a local craft store, or you could probably get it on Amazon if you needed to. And the way to make this shimmer paint, so these are our spritzers. They are in our catalog, and I have filled it with just plain old rubbing alcohol. And now I'm going to add just a couple drops. You can see a couple drops of shimmer paint. And I'm going to put the lid on that because I've already painted my finger gold today. So this is just a little bit of gold. It's not like in your face. We had one for a while called Vegas gold. It's not Vegas gold. It's not that flashy. It's less flashy gold. So now I'm just going to shake that up and get it mixed. In general, you don't want to shake these a lot. You want to just kind of swirl it, because if you shake it, it gets air bubbles in there. And when you spray it, it kind of goes like that. But you can see it's just a little colored. When and this is going to last me a long time, by the way. I will take this and set it aside, and in 2 years, I will grab it and use it again. For example, this was my copper, so I still have some of that made. Same thing, it's embossed. Oh no, this is my copper. See that? So it's copper shimmer paint and the rubbing alcohol. And do I have a frost one? I did. I don't think I do right now. But anyway, I make these and then I keep them all the time, and then I just use them till I use them up. That's why that paint lasts forever. All right, so I'm going to take the lid off my spritzer, and I'm going to look at the hole and make sure that I'm not spraying it directly at my own face. You're laughing. You're laughing like you haven't done that before. Okay, so now I'm going to spray it, and it's going to get wet, and that's okay if it gets super wet, because it is rubbing alcohol, so it is going to dry off. But do you already see some of that shimmer? So I'm going to show you this way. I'm going to move my watch, because last time I didn't, and then I got it all shimmery. Okay, so I'm just going to spray my hand with this, and then we're going to let it dry, and then you're going to see. So you can see as it's drying, you can see. All right, when it dries all the way, you'll see that I am completely a disco queen now. All right, I'm going to set these aside to dry, and again, they're not going to take that long because it's rubbing alcohol. It's not water. You don't ever want to spray paper with water. Paper and water are kind of enemies. So you don't want to do that. The rubbing alcohol evaporates fast enough that it doesn't warp your paper. I am using Evening Evergreen, which just very possibly is one of my very favorite greens in the world. What I have noticed is almost everything I own right now, not clothing wise, well, although this is a really hot color right now, guys, but not just clothing wise, but everything I own in general is green. I am not sure. It is my favorite color. All right, so this is my card base, and it's just a standard card base. So it's half of an 8.5 by 11. Instead of cutting it the other way and making it, 8.5 by 5.5 and folding it, it is just 11 by 4 1/4. Same-o, shmemo. It just is going to be a card that stands like a teepee, like that, okay? You want to have some different looks. It looks nice on people's mantle when they have different cards, and people are going to keep them. Okay, now can you see the shimmer? So that's kind of fun. Now we're going to make both hands shimmery just so that I can be more beautiful. Okay, see that? All right, so that's what it's going to do to your paper too, which is great. This instead of being just a normal size panel, It is slightly smaller. It is 5 instead of 5 1/4 by 4. And the reason I made it a little smaller is I wanted a little more green to show, because you can't have enough green apparently lately. And this is our designer series paper that I told you about, the painted Christmas, I believe. It's a 4 by 4 square. So 4 by 4 is a great size to cut because you're going to be cutting from a 12 by 12. So if you cut a 4 by 4, you're going to end up with 9 pieces of paper. You're going to cut them in half. It's going to give you 18 pieces of paper. You are going to get 18 cards out of one sheet of paper. So imagine what you could do with the whole pack. To cut it on a diagonal, instead of trying to use my wily judgment here, I am going to actually line it up with the track here and line it up with the track here. I like to do it with my blade already kind of in it. That way it doesn't seem to like drag the corner down. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so look at that. I've got some corners. So I've got 2 cards here. Conveniently, I've got 2 cards because, you know, when I cut this from an 8.5 by 11, it's going to make me 2 cards. And now this makes me 2 cards. And you're seeing the math here, right? You're getting the math. Okay, so I didn't glue that anything on there yet. Okay, good. All right, so this is starting to dry, and you can see how sparkly they are. Look at those. Yay, they're so beautiful. So your pine cones will be gorgeously sparkly. Mine is a little less gorgeously sparkly because I didn't have as much paint in mine before. And I also have loved it a lot, and it's been passed around. So it will rub off a little bit on your hands or your beautiful skin. Look at that. I'm just shimmering. I'm glowing. I better not tell my husband that. We already have 4 kids. He'll worry. Okay, so I'm going to just use, oh, yeah, no, before I glue it, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? I'm going to get out my Stamparatus. So because I am going to be making more than 1 card here, I don't want to have to keep lining up my stamp on a long block like this, put my stamp on here, and then, you know, kind of angle it. I don't want to have to do that. I want to just make it simple for myself. So I am going to put my card right down here in between these hash marks because that's how I set it up. In order to set up your Stamparatus, if you don't know how to do that, you just put your card base down there and just lay your stamp where you want it to be. So I just kind of laid this here, and then I laid my stamp down right here, and then I closed it, and that picks up the stamp. And now every time I do it, as long as I put it in between these hash marks, it is going to stamp in the same spot. So I am going to use my other favorite green. This is a new one too. This is Soft Succulent. So both of these are in the in colors this year. And I think that's right. It is. And they're both great. So the new in color pack, you can get them in a pack of 5, and that would be the way to do it. So I'm just going to ink this up on my Stamparatus. It doesn't really matter if I get ink on the plastic here. It's not going to appear on my card. I'm not going to push too hard. And also, when you get your Stamparatus, it comes with a little foam sheet. You don't need that if your stamp is red rubber and it's got foam in it. If your stamp is the clear photopolymer like this one that we used the other day, then I would put the foam sheet under here because it would be just like using a foam mat. But since this one is a red rubber and it's got foam, I'm not doing that. All right, so I'm putting this back where I wanted it, right here. Looks good. And now I already inked it, so I'm just going to close it. Give it a little bit of pressure. The great thing about the Stamparatus is if I opened it and it didn't stamp well in one area, I could just re-ink it and stamp again. So if you look back through my October videos, when I was making, which card was it? It was this card. When I was making this card video, I actually had something on my stamp. And when I stamped it, it didn't stamp. And so I stamped again and it didn't stamp. And then I realized, oh, there's a little piece of paper on my stamp. And I peeled it off and I had to cut another piece of paper for it. If I were using my Stamparatus, I could have stamped and I noticed that, you know, something was wrong. I could have looked over here, saw the paper, peeled it off and just inked it and stamped exactly again without having to like get more paper because it's going to go exactly in the same spot. It makes it so much easier. Okay, so that's a trick. That's a trick for you. Okay, now I can start to glue things down, which makes me happy. All right, we are going to glue one of these mini triangles that I have here. Now I cut two, remember, from one 4x4. It's just a corner to corner kind of deal. And I am so sparkly. I'm distracting myself. I'm distracting myself with my glistening. Look at that. So pretty. All right, so that is the end of that. This is a cool layout for other things. So as I always tell you, this would be great for any other occasion. The gratitude would be pretty if you did a paper with leaves up here, and then you did the much gratitude, or if you did a bunch of Valentine paper up here and you did the sending love, and then you did down here little hearts. So cute. Super cute. Okay. But we're done with that. So now I can move on from there. I have already tied my bow. So this is in the annual catalog, and it is fabulous ribbon. This is the Evening Evergreen ribbon. It comes in all of the in colors, so you can get it in soft succulent too. It'll make you very happy. But it is like an organza with a darker satiny edge. Love it, love it. And it's going to go right here. So I have already tied all of your ribbons that come in your kit, but this one was the very end of the roll, so it doesn't really fit well. So I'm going to tie another piece. That's why I got out my bow maker. But your ribbons will all fit, I promise. That one was just the end of the roll, and I was showing somebody else how to tie it. So it goes like this. If you want to tie bows, then be happy to do so, but the bows in your kit will already come tied. But this bow maker is the bomb. If you want to see how well this works, I have a video that's shown from the front. I think it's my very first video ever. So you'll have to scroll back, but it shows you how perfectly it makes them every time. I actually, just last week, showed my sister how to use, instead of a bow maker, if you're making a humongous bow for your house, you could hold your hands out like this and have somebody wrap it exactly the same way you would use the bow maker and slide it off and make a bow this big for maybe a wreath or something. How far apart you make your arms would be how big the ears part, this part would be on your bow. So anyway, we did that. We made a bow for her wreath on her front door, and she was amazed, clearly. All right, so normally I would put a glue dot under my knot to hold it in place, but I don't know where they are right now because my table is crazy. I'm sorry about that. But I am going to tape this on here. One thing is, when you go over the corner like this, you don't want to try and go over a corner with ribbon because it's just going to bend funny. Cheat it off just a little bit. Nobody will notice. Nobody will care, I promise. So you just kind of cheat it off. And I'm going to tape that back here. And nobody's going to know because I'm going to have that glue dot under my knot, and it will hold it in place. And look at that. It looks like it goes right over the corner, but you saw that it didn't. All right, and I'm going to do this and cut off this. So I never, except for you guys, when I'm cutting, a lot and making a lot of bows, and I measure it and I cut it off, but I never cut ribbon off the bolt until after my bow is already tied, so that I'm sure that it's going to fit every time. All right, so this whole thing is glued down. It is not on dimensionals. This is on dimensional, and that knot sticks up a little bit, and we don't want to have to pay extra postage to send this to somebody. We love people, but maybe we don't love them enough to pay extra postage to send them a Christmas card. All right. I'm just joking. We probably do. There's probably somebody we love enough. I'm just not sure who right now. All right. So we're sticking that on there. Good. I would go back and stick a little glue dot under there and stick it down so that it stays. And now I'm going to go ahead and add my very, very sparkly, see those? Pine cones. So my first two are going to just get glued down. I'm going to kind of lay them out so that I know where I'm putting them. And then that guy's going to be popped up. Oh, that looks almost perfect. So let's just do that. So a little bit of glue. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. If you ever put a lot of glue, so that doesn't look like a lot, but with this glue, it's very strong. So I just kind of smear a little extra on the other guy. I just smear some on the other guy. All right. And now dimensionals on this. I am going to put 2. No, I'm not. I'm going to put 1. Just 1. Do I have a little piece? Sometimes I have these little parts that kick around where I have cut them. Or I can grab a little part like this. So these edges that go around the edge of your dimensionals, they are usable, guys. Don't throw them out. You are going to want to use those too because they are the same material. They're the same material. They're just the different shape. All right, so my dimensionals aren't sticking super well to this because these are still a little bit damp. So I would probably let them dry a little bit more longer before I stuck them down, but they actually will stick because now I will leave them and they will dry. But you can see on my paper where those were, how shimmery, sparkly, wonderful that is. So you glitter fans out there, you don't have to get full of glitter. You can spray yourself and it will be fine. All right, so that is the last card of the October series. If you would like to order one of these kits, then be sure that you specify that that's the month that you are interested in. Please go back and watch some of the other videos. I still have a couple kits left, not many kits left from other months, but if you really love something, I might be able to work it out for you. If you do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And we have one more month and then you have Christmas kit cards and you will be all set. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great day. Bye-bye.